Hi everyone, welcome to our session today. So today we're going to be talking about peptides and how they're important, and why you even need them. What type of technology do we use with our clients? So I'm really excited to have Dr. Stacy here with me. She's going to go very much in depth into the wonderful peptides, specifically GHK and AHK. So Dr. Stacy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Mel. Well, I'm excited to share with you guys a little bit more today. I feel like peptides are all the crave right now. Like all the rage is peptide, peptide, peptide. And there's so many peptides out there. You don't know what really is best for you or not, or, there's so much information. But the thing I want you to understand about peptides is we have thousands of them in our body, okay? They're just chains of proteins, amino acids. They're the building blocks of your body. So you have peptides, you've always had them, but some of them actually decline as you age. So you make less and less of them. So we're specifically going to talk about two peptides today that are extremely important and powerful in your body, and they do decline as you age. And of course, yes, we know you can inject peptides, but that's invasive, and of course, that's a synthetic form of something, right, that we're putting into our body with could be potential side effects or risks or contraindications. You don't know, right? Remember, it's something synthetic. But when we're talking about the technology that Dr. Mel and I work with, this non-transdermal patch, this activates your body's own peptides. And it does that through light. This is actually a wearable light technology. And so when I put this patch on my body, no matter where I apply it, my whole body is emitting heat or light, and that's what activates this patch. So similar to red light therapy devices or lasers or infrared saunas, light enters our body. We don't see or feel it, but it creates change. Well, when I put the patch on, I don't need a sauna or I don't need a device. I am the power source, and I don't see or feel anything happening, but immediately I am experiencing change because that wavelength of light that enters my body creates change depending on what wavelength of light, what peptide is elevated. And for purposes of, again, what we're talking about today, we're really going to focus on the benefits of elevating GHK, which is known as the fountain of youth, and AHK, which is known as that performance booster. And so we're going to dive into those two peptides and what they look like and what they do inside of your body. Now, how do we know when we put this little Band-Aid on that we're actually elevating those peptides? Well, we've done clinical studies. The company has done clinical studies, over 90 actually, and many of them on these patches that elevate these two different peptides. And we have double-blind placebo-controlled studies. You're welcome to have access to them. Just reach out to Dr. Mel. She'd be more than happy to send you the studies if you want to take a look at those. But our patent states that we elevate GHK in the blood. And in turn, we activate our own stem cells. So in terms of this patch, we're going to start with the X39. You're going to put it on in the morning when you get up. You're going to leave it on 12 hours, and you're going to take it off and throw it away. You're going to do the same thing the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Peptides compound over time. And so we want to elevate this peptide that becomes not active in our body as we age. You want to do that daily. By the time you're in your 60s, you only have about 20% of that peptide still active. So when I said it's the fountain of youth, that's pretty important. When you think about a young, youthful person in their teens or early 20s, they have a robust life. They're excited. They have lots of energy. They sleep amazing. Their bodies are repairing constantly. Their brains are learning. They're functioning. But then as they age, that peptide declines. Their stem cells become dormant. And the body, of course, we see that degeneration process. So when we elevate GHK, what do people typically notice? They notice pain reduction, better quality of sleep, more mental clarity, focus, concentration, physical energy, recovery from activity or fitness. And they also notice faster healing, wound healing if they have an accident or injury. When we talk in terms of AHK, which is X49 patch, looks identical to this, nothing looks different. But when we put it on our body, it elevates a different peptide. And AHK is the daughter peptide to GHK. So it's like a mother-daughter that work really well together. So you can use them independently of themselves, but when you put them together, dramatic results happen. We can see that in our clinical studies. So when you think in terms of AHK, think in terms of alanine. That is one component of that peptide, that tripeptide. And that is responsible for building lean muscle mass, for helping reduce body fat, a lot of cardiovascular neurological benefits. So more recovery, more oxygenation, circulation. We can really see changes in the body in those areas. Over time, even when you look at our studies, bone density, we can stop bone loss and increase bone density over a 12-month period of time using the combination of the two patches. So I'm going to screen share real quick just to share a little graphic with you guys. I really like to have visuals. And if you want to see this, of course, we can definitely send this to you. Just reach out. But this shows you the difference between 39 and 49, how 39 is going to elevate GHK-Cu for the activation of stem cells. And then AHK is the X49, like I mentioned, with that cognition, the brain, the neurological types of benefits, performance, strength, muscle mass, stamina. And we know when you elevate your own stem cells, activate your own stem cells, they're going to help to repair anything in the body. And so definitely have that more youthful glow about you and feel about you. But then as you're looking at both of them together, they work similar, but they're different in that X39 is systemic. So lots of different throughout the whole body results, where X49 is going to be more, again, focused, like I said, on the cardiovascular, neurological, those muscle, fat loss, and bone health. So definitely a different peptide that has a different pathway. But we know that using these together, that synergy is what's really going to unlock the really deeper benefits for looking at how my body is not only going to improve physically, mentally, and emotionally, but how it's going to be able to support and sustain that my health span as I'm aging. So I love the combination. We actually call it the performance bundle. And so you can purchase that performance bundle. Dr. Mel has a site. She can share that with you. Just reach out or look in the bio with the link to be able to get that performance bundle. And you can get that set up on a monthly subscription, so that way you're using that every day. You want to use it for at least 1 month for every decade you are old, to wake up those dormant stem cells, to have your body doing what it should be doing like it did when you were younger. So for some of you, that may be 4 or 5 months. For some of you, that may be 6, 7, or 8 or more months. But if you're like myself and Mel, we've been patching almost 5 years now. So we continue to patch because we continue to reverse age.
It's amazing. Yeah, I have a story to share from this morning. Actually, my aunt had a surgery, and the surgery was horrible. So she was like resting in her place for 3 days, and she was like, "Mel, I'm in so much pain. My energy is so low." And I was like, "Let me just put some of these patches on you." So I put X39, Eon, and Energy Enhancer, and within like half an hour, when I checked in via text, she was like, "I feel so much better. I feel energized and in less pain." And that the effect was immediate, because her body obviously needed more stem cells to help heal her in the process. So that was so wonderful to see, and for her to feel it instantly.
I love that. It's crazy. The stories that we hear every day from people, you wouldn't think just putting on this little sticker is going to create some type of change that you could feel.
Yeah.
And when you have someone that's in pain, or they've had a surgery, they've got, an injury or something, the body is doing everything it can to keep up, to deal with that issue. But when you give it a little extra support, you can really start to feel those things kick in fast, and that's amazing.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Thank you. Now, maybe for the people that are like into fitness, who may be watching this video, Dr. Stacy, what have you noticed from like all the stories that you know with people who are in the gym, or they're coaches, or they're fitness professionals? Like, what can they see by using the X49 and X39 together?
Okay, so I've actually interviewed a whole bunch of people, young to old, even triathletes.
Yeah.
I've interviewed in the past. So football players, former NFL, current NFL players, lots of people are patching, depending on your whatever athletic, area you're in. Swimmers, weightlifters, runners. We find that people increase their endurance. So they're able to run farther or for longer distances and have a balanced heart rate. Their heart rate doesn't spike like it normally did, or then they recover so much faster. And they're able to build lean muscle mass. That's a serious problem as we age. A lot of people don't work out, let's be honest. They just don't. We're lucky if we can get them to go for a walk. But in the gym, lifting weights, we know as we age, that is critical to our longevity. You have to have lean muscle mass, and that deteriorates as we age. And so that leads to then, of course, with your bone density decreasing, and then the bones break and the muscles aren't strong enough to keep things together, and it's downhill slide. So when you look at the 39-49 combo for anybody, you don't have to be an ultra athlete, but for anybody, it's going to help support building that lean muscle mass. So if you do something, anything, it's going to really make a big difference. And again, because you feel good, you're recovering faster, or you don't have any downtime, you're not as sore, your aches and pains aren't there, then you feel more motivated to go do it again. And I'm not saying you have to be in the gym every day by any means, but at least 2 to 3 times a week lifting some weights. It could be light weights. It doesn't have to be heavy. You can do it at home. We have free weights here in our house. Yeah. And so I'll just put on some music and, just do some things. I'll Google some different things on my phone. Like, I'm going to do this one today or that one, just different muscle groups. Or, of course you can do classes, different things. But you want to focus on keeping the muscles really, and again, it's not about big muscles, in the gym, but it's about keeping that body fit and keeping it lean so that you can support yourself as you're aging. It impacts everything. Your hormones, your sleep, everything is regulated when you have a higher percentage of lean muscle mass in your body versus not. So I definitely recommend all of the coaches, the fitness professionals out there, use the technology yourself, see for yourself what it does for you, and then start sharing it with your clients. You're going to be surprised. And if you want some of those testimonials from some of these athletes, current athletes, former big time athletes, or just regular, like my son in the gym lifting weights at 21 years old, if you want to hear from some of these people, we have those recordings. We'd be happy to share those with you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel like it's a new year, so everyone's working on their health goals again, like a reset. So this is definitely a great tool that they can add to what they're currently doing. Sometimes people are like, do I need to stop my supplements or medication or anything like that? Obviously, with meds, check with your doctor. But with supplements, I am an advocate that less is more. So by using on these patches, I hardly take any supplements. Obviously the essentials like vitamin C, D, magnesium, but it's really not necessary because the body is able to repair itself. But then again, if you want to take like so many supplements and different stuff, it's totally fine. It works beautifully together. So yes, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We are more than happy to go more in depth with you. And for your community of people, if you want us to share it with others, this is an amazing technology that the more people that they know about, the more people we can together impact and help them restore their health and wellness.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Mel.
Thank you. Oops, my phone is ringing for a second. Anyways, thank you so much.
You're welcome.